Another question I get all the time is what are functional life skills and how do I assess them? How do I know what is an appropriate functional life skills? And how do I know that my students are making progress or learning these skills? What's an assessment I can use? I have an assessment that you can use to figure out if your students are on the right track for gaining independence. It is based on the prompt hierarchy system, and it is a tool that I use in my classroom every single year. I actually have it right here, ready to go. My basic life skills assessment for self-contained special education classrooms. There are skills here from grades pre-K to 2. So again, my students are middle school students, but they are unable to access the curriculum appropriately. So they need a modified standard in order to reach their level of independence. So that's why I've created my functional life skills assessment, or my basic skills assessment, that'll work on basic concepts like sorting, matching, shapes, colors, numbers. But again, that'll get into then reading, mathematics. Again, so back to basic concepts, we have matching, sorting, name recognition, calendar skills, body parts, sequencing, categories, opposites, prepositions, all those types of things. And then you would go into reading. Reading is my second section in this assessment, where students are working on alphabet and community signs and book skills, capitalization, punctuation, sight words, and pre-primer and primer words. Again, that's all a part of this, and it's on a prompting system. If I give them the letter A, can they identify it? If they can't, what else am I going to do to support them so that they can be prompted to get all of that? Okay, mathematics is the other part. Colors, shapes, numbers, patterns, one-to-one correspondence, addition, subtraction, money, time, and measurement is all a part of my mathematics section. It's very comprehensive, so that my students know exactly what they need to be working on for math and how I can support them. Okay. The next section I have is fine motor skills. Another big part of my students' programming is their fine motor skills. So their clothing management, their hand skills, manipulative play, arts and crafts, pre-writing and writing skills. There's all assessed in there. To go along with fine motor, we also have self-care like toileting, grooming, and hygiene. Clothing management is also a part of that. It's body care and basic first aid is very important for my students to be able to do. And then I also mentioned that my students go into the community. So we have transportation, street safety, grocery stores, clothing stores, restaurants, sit-down restaurants, and fast food restaurants, leisure, library, bookstore, post office, doctor's office, dentist's office. The list goes on and on for community because my students need to be able to access their community as appropriately as they can. Okay. And also cooking, eating habits, appliance use, basic food prep, food and safety and sanitation, all a part of my job. I have to make sure my students know how to do that. Okay. And then my big one is my independence, the school skills, the calendar skills, transitioning skills, schedules, work skills, home skills, clerical, domestic, and clothing management and personal information. You'll see clothing management is a big part of my program. We need to make sure our shirts aren't inside out or backwards. Very important to work on those independent skills as much as possible. And then my final section is the social emotional, where they're working on their emotions, behavior management, personal qualities, their external supports, goal setting, perspective taking, making friends, social skills, safety, and decision-making skills. Again, that is all in my basic life skills assessment, where it works on a prompt hierarchy system that I've shared with you. So that is my prompt hierarchy so that my students become most independent as possible. And then we work through those skills throughout the school year.